Welcome back to Nebi Properties. So I thought I'd just change the scenery a little bit today. I'm on a lovely walk, enjoying the sun. I say sun, but it's still a little bit chilly. But in this video, I just want to talk about the setbacks, the quote-unquote losses I've had in property. I'm conscious that I talk about how I've been able to scale my property portfolio, the things that I've done, things that I've achieved. But at the same time, I think it's important to also speak on the challenges that were faced, the lessons that were learned, and mistakes that were made. And hopefully this will help you in not repeating any of the mistakes that I've made. So let's get into it. For me, the first mistake that I made in property was not quickly assigning a power team. So what does that mean? In property, it's important to actually get a handful of people that you trust that do different things. So having a good mortgage broker, a good solicitor that you can rely on, good advisors, potentially even mentors that you can work with. When I first started in property, I had none of that. I mean, when I was buying my first property 7 years ago, just over 7 years ago, I literally had no idea what I was doing. And I was literally just figuring it out. So I remember the first property that I bought, which is the one that I live in. And I was literally just going into work and kind of asking people for advice and who they used, for their properties that they purchased. And the problem with this is that at work, a lot of times people might not actually be seasoned property investors or actually have that much experience in property. So it's going to be difficult for them to, give you real advice or real recommendations. They might have one property that they've bought, and if they've had an okay experience, they might provide you with some contacts, but on the most part, it might not actually work that well. So that for me was a big lesson learned. If I could go back in time, I would definitely just go to networking events pretty much straight away, and from there actually build a network of people that I could work with. The second thing for me was not having real aim and focus. So when I say that, I mean actually knowing what I wanted from the property. I think I had that same issue with my first property and my second as well. With my first property, I knew it was a property that I wanted to live in, but I was pretty okay with the number of bedrooms. I did prefer and wanted a freehold, but other than that, I wasn't too clear on exactly the location or even understanding exactly what type of property that I actually wanted to live in, understanding what the mortgages I'd be potentially paying and things like that. I think I had that issue amplified when I was trying to buy my second property. So with my buy-to-let, and I've spoken about this before on my YouTube channel, I was looking for a year and a half searching for a buy-to-let. And I think this came down to the fact that I wasn't clear on what I actually wanted. I was just looking at all types of properties, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, looking at a wide area in Kent as well. And when you do that, you're not enabling yourself to target a specific area and know about it, right? So I was looking at a lot of towns in the Medway area, in the Swale area, and it's going to be extremely difficult to actually know the roads and the specific areas within those towns unless you were literally born and raised here in Kent, which is my example. But I wasn't. I was born and raised in London, so that I found extremely difficult as well. And essentially what it did is it killed a lot of my time, right? So for me, what I've learned now is I'm very clear now on exactly what I want. So when I'm looking at investment properties now, I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know the type of returns I'm looking for, and I know the specific areas that I'm generally targeting as well. And when you do that, then it enables you to have better focus and you're able to get what you want a lot quicker. Another mistake that I've made a couple of times is not doing my due diligence when it comes to actually purchasing a property. So with my buy-to-let, my first buy-to-let, I didn't really research the freehold management company that were operating at the time, what they were like and things of that nature. All I knew was the service charge payment amount for the previous year. And I just thought, okay, that seems reasonable. Didn't actually know how well they communicate, how well they actually cater to the leaseholder's needs. And I found this out the hard way when I actually purchased a leasehold. The freehold management company were terrible with communication. Anytime I'd reach out to them or any other leaseholder would reach out to them, we would get no response. So no matter what problem was arising in the building, we weren't being catered to on any level. So now what I do is I make sure to understand the paperwork, who I'm dealing with. When I'm purchasing a property, I want to be very sure and clear on what I'm getting myself into. The due diligence piece also affected me when I was purchasing blocks of flats as well. So when I was searching for blocks of flats last year, I was just looking for what looked to be a good deal, you know. And when I found a block of 4 flats in Doncaster, it looked like it was decent, it was cash flowing okay, but there was some damp and issues with the property. However, I didn't think this would be an issue with the mortgage lender, so I went through with it. And then what happened? 2 mortgage lenders wouldn't lend on it. So that meant that we didn't go through the property purchase, and we lost a few £1,000s on that deal. Because you've got to remember, you've got to pay for the solicitor work that they've done up until that point. You've got to pay for the mortgage broker, both mortgage valuation fees, and it was both a cost financially and time as well. So again, now what I ensure to do, like I mentioned, is really understand what the property is that I'm purchasing. If there are structural issues wrong with it, I will actually now get a builder in to actually have a look at it and then provide me with a second opinion, because that will enable me to make better decisions going forward with that property. One thing that I would also do sooner as well, when I look back at it, is actually have the right guidance and mentorship. I only really got a mentor last year, and if I'd had a mentor for previous years, when I was in either purchasing property or looking to invest in property, then I'm sure some of the mistakes that I've made, I wouldn't have done them. Because if someone's already walked the path that you want to walk on, then chances are you're going to walk on that path with less problems and less mistakes. Those are some of the setbacks and mistakes that I've made in property. And hopefully it enables you to be better informed when it comes to purchasing properties going forward. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like. And if you found value from this video or any other video on this channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.